Here are 10 of the most important music industry lessons that I had to learn to start mixing hundreds of songs every year for artists all over the world. Number one, understand your client's journey. I know that sounds like marketing BS, but I promise you that's way more important than I realized for a very, very long time. It's easy to overlook it when word of mouth is the main way that you find clients, right? Because when anybody does send you an email asking about your prices, your availability, whatever, they already have some familiarity with you. They already have some trust in you because somebody told them you're worth trusting and you're worth getting to know. That's the good news. But the bad news is that word of mouth is not predictable and it's not sustainable in the long run. And also it makes it way harder for you to be able to take any sort of control in growing your business, not just with finding new clients, but also with finding the right kinds of clients in a direction that you want to go creatively. It's so incredibly important to think about what is their experience with you, not just during the project, not just during the session, but literally from the very first time that they even find out that you exist all the way until, well, one of you dies. And that's when that's when you stop working together. I don't mean it like hopefully you die, but you know what I mean? Like hopefully they're like a lifelong client. That got weird. Whatever. Number two, whether you realize it or not, you have a personal brand. Your brand is not your logo, your color scheme, your website design. Your brand is the gut feeling that a customer has about you. And every single person is going to have a gut feeling about you. Whether you are intentional about shaping that gut feeling or not, it's going to happen. And back in 2020, when COVID hit, pretty much everybody in the music industry was crapping their pants, not knowing what they were going to be doing next. But for me, 2020 was the best year that I had ever had up until that point, even though I was full-time in the industry for over a decade. And it wasn't because I was a better mixer than everybody else, because duh. It wasn't because I had better network connections than everybody else, because I live in rural Amish country, Pennsylvania. It was because I was very intentional about how I presented my personality online. I wasn't changing who I was. I wasn't trying to be something that I'm not. I was just trying to let people see me. I wanted people to see what it was like to be in a room with me, even if they were on a different continent. I wanted them to know what I brought to the table beyond just the sounds, beyond just the music. And what COVID really showed was that the people that put their thought and energy into trying to communicate that and shape the gut feeling that strangers had about them, those people had a lot more success than the producers and engineers that thought, oh, this will be over soon, or my work will speak for itself, because it doesn't. Your work only speaks for itself if you can get people to listen. Number three, your niche is not about genre. And it's not even just about the music itself. I used to think that my niche was indie pop. But the biggest issue with that is that artists don't really even think of themselves in genres. 99 out of 99 artists that I talk to would have a really hard time describing their music based on a single genre. It's usually some weird combination of a whole string of adjectives and genres with a bunch of hyphens in between. And 99 out of 99 producers and engineers that I talk to also have a really hard time describing themselves in just one genre. So I try to look at it like a style niche, and it has nothing to do with the genres specifically. It's all about what are the underlying characteristics within music that I really love that may or may not be specific to a genre. Using myself as an example, I love music that has prominent, catchy vocals, massive rhythm sections, and lots of those little nerdy textures and nuances that nobody will notice until they hear the song 10 times. Some pop has that, some pop doesn't. Some country has that, some country doesn't. Some rock does, some rock doesn't. When I try to look at those underlying musical characteristics as the thing that ties it all together for me, it makes it so much easier for me to know what I'm looking for. But remember how I said it's not just about the music? We also have to take into consideration what we do for the artists. I used to think about it based on the service that I provide. I'm a mixing engineer. I'm a mastering engineer. I'm a session drummer. But then I started running into the same issues that I ran into when I was thinking about my niche being based on the genre. Because I like to play drums. I like to do additional production. I like to mix. I like to master. And I do a lot of these different things for people. But I like to think of it less about the service I provide and more about the problem that I solve. I help artists near the end of the production stage find all of the little moments for ear candy, more interesting transitions, figuring out when to mute stuff when it's getting too busy or too cluttered, and then mixing the song. I could say I do mixing and additional production, or I could say I help artists to find the last little 3% to make their song as memorable and emotionally impactful as possible. Which of those do you think is going to be more compelling to a potential client? And the third consideration is the personality niche. This is, for me, the most important thing. I would rather work on music that's okay with people that I absolutely love than work on great music with people that I can't stand. If you're working on music that makes you lose the love for what you do, that is a big, big, big problem. And it's a very common problem. So when I'm thinking about the kind of artists that I want to work with and the kind of artists I want to attract, their personality is it's the most important thing to me. So your ideal clients are right smack dab in the middle of those three circles. Everything that you do on your social media, your website, your outreach, all of it, the goal should be to attract those people. Number 4, no is a very powerful word that we generally don't say nearly enough. And I don't just mean saying no to obvious red flag clients, like people that don't respect your boundaries, people that want everything done immediately for a discount. I'm not just talking about saying no to clients that are not going to be a good fit. I'm talking about saying no to projects that take up the time you should be spending on something more important. I have ADHD and I have a lot of ideas. I get a lot of exciting new things that I want to try. And in the past, it's been a slippery slope where I've said yes to projects that were not the most important thing. And maybe they were just a distraction because it was something that was shiny and exciting and new. And it seemed like it was going to be more fun. But in the end, it ended up putting more important things on the back burner. So saying no to red flag clients is a really powerful thing. Saying no to projects that maybe aren't going to actually move the needle forward for you is a really good thing. But the most important person to say no to is yourself, because you are going to have lots of ideas. You are going to be tempted to try lots of different things. And just because something seems exciting and fun and you want to do it doesn't mean that it's going to be for the best interest of your long-term career. Number 5, whether you like it or not, you're an entrepreneur. And to be successful in the music industry in 2025, you need to be able to make your own opportunities. Word of mouth is great when it happens, but it's not predictable, and you need to be able to treat your business like a business. Is it fun? Not always. Is it sexy? Definitely not. But what I'm finding more and more is that the people that find the most success in the music industry are the ones that find joy in tackling the challenges of running a business. They look at it like a creative problem to solve, not as a chore that they have to do. When you start to reframe it as a creative challenge of how you can get yourself to grow more meaningful relationships with artists and make more interesting music and create more fulfilling art, then you start to realize, oh, there's a real reason for this. There's a personal reason for this. There's an existential reason for putting the work in that goes beyond just making more money. It's meeting more people, making better art, and ultimately, I think, making a bigger impact on the world as a whole. I know that sounds kind of floofy, but it's true. I really believe it. Number 6, vanity metrics will kill your business. I have seen it firsthand and I believe it so deeply. You can go viral. You can have a huge audience and still not get clients. Or even worse, you can get flooded with the wrong types of clients. I'm going to give you 2 examples from myself and my own experiences. Number 1, I had a video that went viral because it was just a cute video of my daughter laughing. I got over 1 million views, a couple 100,000 likes, and I ended up getting I think 260 or something new followers from it. Guess what? None of it was relevant for my business. I had to go in and manually remove all of those followers because it was affecting what the algorithm thought my followers were interested in. So I had this video that went viral, got a lot of attention. It did nothing for my business except actually create a bit of a headache for me. On the flip side, I had another video that just had some clips of songs that came out that week that I had worked on. And it was really just me showing some of the music that I worked on that was being released and saying things about how I felt about the music and the artists. And when I made that video, it only got 600 or 700 views. But that one video was the reason why 3 different clients reached out to me and hired me. So making all of your decisions based on what's going to get the most engagement, what's going to get the most views, more often than not, pushes you in the wrong direction. And you start to make your decisions based on that dopamine kick of seeing a new follower, of seeing a new comment, instead of making it based on what's going to actually help you to move your career in the direction that you want to take it. Number 7, music is a social sport. Just like a lot of other sports, if you want to get better and you want to develop those skills to a really, really high level, you want to be surrounded by other people that are also pushing themselves to develop those skills. Being in the community of peers that are working as hard as you, maybe working harder than you, is going to not only be an inspiration, but it's also going to challenge you and push you to better yourself. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably not going to learn much. You might feel good about yourself, but that only takes you so far. And if you're constantly surrounded by people that are smarter than you, you're going to get lifted up to their level as well. That is really how you can make real progress. And on top of that, when you're going through a rough patch, when you're dealing with a shitty client, when you're dealing with a slow period, it's so incredibly helpful to have other people that have been through it too, and that know what that feels like and can actually relate to you in a way that maybe your other friends can't, or your partner can't, or your therapist can't. I love my therapist dearly, but I know if I bring up some of these issues that I'm having with clients or something, then it's going to just go right over her head. Finding people that understand what you're going through and are going to be there with you through the good times and the bad just makes everything so much easier. Oh, hey there. Since you're watching this video, that means you're probably trying to build a career that's both financially sustainable and creatively fulfilling. And if that sounds like you, then you'd really love Studioland. It's where we deep dive into helping you attract better clients, charge higher rates, and have way more fun while you do it. There's a link in the description, and yeah, back to the video. Number 8, introverts can make content too. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I hate people. Most of the time. And the reason that I've seen so many introverted creatives have a hard time presenting themselves online is because we see so many bad examples of things that we don't want to do. We are so annoyed by the people that always want to be the loudest in the room. And the last thing that we want to do is to add to that noise. The problem is we're looking at it kind of the entire wrong way. It's not about getting the most views. It's not about getting the most engagement. It's about getting the right engagement. And you don't have to follow stupid social media trends and do cringy dances and whatever just to be able to get clients, because ultimately what you're trying to do is you're just trying to let people get to know you. Let them see the things about you that all of your friends and your best clients see about you. There are so many different ways that you can use social media, and use that as a way to attract the kind of people that are going to really enjoy making music with you and hiring you and shouting your name from the rooftops. Number 9, the most underrated skill in music production is active listening. I mean, actively listening to your clients, understanding what they have to say, asking deeper questions, and then communicating it back to them. It's one thing to understand their vision. It's a totally different thing for them to feel understood. If you can make an artist feel understood and heard and seen, they are going to appreciate that more than anybody can ever really express. But where the real money is when you can make a total stranger feel understood and heard and seen. If you can communicate to those people that you understand what they're struggling with, that you understand what they're trying to achieve with their career, with their music, before they actually even talk to you, it's going to blow their minds, and it's going to make any conversation that you actually have with them go so much more smoothly, because they're going into that conversation seeing you as somebody that is empathetic and understanding and speaks the same musical language that they speak. And it's crazy to me. It is absolutely crazy to me how few producers and engineers actually communicate that. Everybody will say that they really try to understand the artist's vision and that the artist's vision is the top priority. But think about how many people you've seen actually communicate that. Probably not many. And if you can do that, if you can make total strangers feel understood, everything in your business is going to become easier. Number 10, the most important lesson of them all, be unapologetically you. They say that weird is beautiful. And I think that's true not just for poorly taxidermied fake dogs or whatever this is. It's from a thrift store. But it also applies to you as a creative professional, because what works for somebody else isn't always going to work for you. And what works for you isn't always going to work for somebody else. You're not going to be the next Jason Joshua. You're not going to be the next Jack Antonoff. You're going to be the first you. You're going to be the only you. And the more that I've leaned into that, the more my career has aligned with the things that actually really matter to me. Sorry, buddy. Not just as a mixing engineer, but as a person. This just reminded me of a story from when I was in college. So there was another percussion major, and they were obsessed with Dave Weckl. I took it as a personal goal of mine to get Joe to listen to new music because all he would ever listen to was Dave Weckl. So I went to Walmart and I bought a pack of CDRs and I gave him 10. And I said, I'm going to burn 10 CDs for you that I think you should listen to. And I want you to burn 10 CDs for me that you think I should listen to. So the day comes when we go to swap. 7 out of the 10 CDs he gave me were Chick Corea Electric Band with Dave Weckl playing drums. And then one of the other ones was a Dave Weckl solo album. So flash forward almost 20 years now, I still sometimes see Joe posting videos of him playing along to Dave Weckl songs on Instagram. And I'll be honest, I'm not surprised that he's not actually doing anything real with his career. The point is, if we spend our whole lives trying to be the next Dave Weckl, not only are we going to be disappointed, but we're also going to miss out on reaching that potential that only we can reach, creating the things that only we can create. So your unique combination of tastes, experiences, perspectives, values, that makes you someone that nobody else can be. Okay, so while I was editing this video, I realized there was another one that I probably should have included, and I'm just going to make it the bonus number 11. And that is that you are not your own target audience. Too many producers and engineers make the kind of content that they see and that they like, and it's not actually as relevant to their ideal clients as they think. A rule of thumb that I live by is that if it shows up on my feed, it's probably not the kind of content I should be making because the algorithms are really good and they're going to feed me the kind of content that people in my position are going to want to see. And the position that I'm in is not the same position that my ideal clients are in. So I need to always ask myself, am I making this piece of content because it's something that I'm interested in, or am I making it because it's something that's actually helpful and valuable to the ideal clients I'm trying to attract? Okay, I'm done now, I promise. Thanks for watching. Do all the things that YouTubers tell you to do, and check out Studioland. I think you'd really find yourself at home there. Okay, bye.